One of the frequently asked questions I receive by players through Discord or on my channel is how to handle the subordinate city linking. While it might seem like an easy topic of discussion, it's really not. There are quite a few considerations for whether your subs should be linked or not, and when. I'm going to try to break it down to a few scenarios to best explain when you should or should not link your subs, but first let's look at how it's done. When you go to your subordinate city menu, there will be two checkboxes. These checkboxes are used to determine whether your subordinate cities will participate in battles defensively. These selections work in tandem with the portal building that is located next to your rally spot. The portal is not an actual building in the game, it's more just a justification for how subordinate cities located all around the map are able to send and receive troops instantly without having to deal with marches. The first checkbox, called All Automatic Fight for Other Cities, means that when your main city or another one of your linked subordinate cities is under attack, the troops and mayor from this particular subordinate city will jump through the portal to be instantly included in the battle. If this checkbox is not activated, your subordinate city and the mayor will remain where they are and not be included in any battles other than when directly attacked. The second checkbox, called All Accept Reinforcements, means that when this particular subordinate city is attacked, other troops from the other subordinate cities and also the troops that are at home in your main city will jump through the portal to instantly appear at your subordinate city and join the battle. If this is not activated, your subordinate city will be left to defend itself with whatever troops it has produced. There's one important distinction I made in the language I used here. I said specifically that the troops at home in your main city would join the battle and not your troops at home would join the battle. If another player in your alliance sent reinforcements to your main city, those reinforcements would also be included in the battle that occurs at your linked subordinate city. Now that we know how these checkboxes function, let's take a look at the situations in which you may or may not want to activate your subordinate cities. First, let's talk about checkbox 1. Generally, you would always want to have this checkbox activated when you want to be able to actively defend. Remember from discussions in my past videos that subordinate cities play a huge role both offensively and defensively by providing debuffs through the mayor's equipment and skill books. Not having this checkbox activated when you are trying to defend is a huge and costly mistake. There are fewer situations when you would not want to link your subordinate city through checkbox 1, and these are largely centered around the times you don't want your subordinate cities to lose troops. An easy example of this is when you are ghosting troops and expecting to be hit. After you are finished hiding troops, you may want to disable the first checkbox to prevent your subordinate cities from being slaughtered when they come to try to help an empty city. This can be a tricky situation though, because if you are force ported and your troops return, you will either need to quickly ghost again, bubble, or enable the checkbox to prevent another player from hitting your troops at home when the subordinate cities are not fully linked. Ghosting is a difficult process and it requires skill and practice to do well under the pressure. The second checkbox is quite different. Since this checkbox is a lot like a request for other troops to participate in a battle at the subordinate city, you need to be wary of situations that might expose your troops to participating in a losing battle. Subordinate cities call in your troops from the main city, but not all of the buffs that would be present in your main city will transfer with them. Defenses at subordinate cities are significantly weaker than defenses at the main city as a result. The flip side to this is that subordinate cities cannot be rallied. A good rule of thumb is if you are a very strong player with a huge amount of troops and you can easily take a solo attack, you can safely stay with your links active when your bubble is down. If you are a player that is susceptible of being zeroed or heavily damaged in one hit, you should consider unlinking the sub during these times to protect your main city. It's not too uncommon for skilled players with strong offensive buffs to search for linked subs to completely decimate a player's main city troops with a solo march. This comes with a risk to the attacker, of course. If an alliance has heavily reinforced that player's main city, the solo march will meet far more troops than expected. Use your knowledge of how subordinate cities function to plan creative solutions that deal with this type of play. Another important thing to mention is that if you have valuable purple or orange subs that you want to protect, You will want to keep the subordinate city linked to ensure a player is not easily able to steal the subordinate city by overcoming the limited internal defense of the sub-city. Hopefully this breakdown of how subordinate cities function will be valuable to the many players out there with similar questions. See you all in the next video.
Thank you so much for watching this video and supporting the channel. If you liked what you saw, please consider hitting the like button and checking out other videos on the Miser's Guide to Evony. I'll see you in the next video.